Now I'm off to the Stamps Pear Farm in Chelan. I met up with Steve Stamps to learn how this generational farm has been growing delicious pears for more than 60 years. This is a family affair?
It is. I was saying my dad's been in it for 60 some years. I started going to the orchard before I started school. My boys, they're involved as much as I can get them out here. But yeah, it's been a long-standing family farm. My mom still does the books.
That's great. Steve explained that while his family has been growing pears for a long time, there are still challenges.
Mother Nature is probably the biggest. Like I said, we had a hailstorm that came through in June and marked up a lot of our fruit. Early freeze. We had such an early spring this year. We had a freeze that even with the wind machines going, we couldn't hold the temperature at a certain level, and we damaged some fruit. And we've got what we call a frost ring on some of our pears, where when the pear was very, very small, they froze, and it puts a ring around this pear and damages it to the point where it won't be able to fresh market that pear.
So some struggles this year that you've had to deal with.
It's been an interesting year. Plus, everything has been early by a couple weeks. Here's a great example of the frost ring.
Oh yeah.
It got cold, and it put a ring around that whole pear. So that pear is not marketable in the fresh market. We may be able to sell it to a canner if they can get their blade under it. It may just be juice.
While Steve can't control the weather, he showed me one inventive thing they do to help control pests.
So what this is a pheromone dispenser, and we put it on every tree in the spring before bloom, and it has the scent of a female codling moth. So when the male codling moth comes into the orchard,
looking for his lady.
Looking for the lady, then he can't really find her because it smells like the female everywhere.
Wow, that is
And so
fantastic.
it eliminates, for us, it eliminates some of the pesticide stuff that we want to get away from anyway as much as we can.
Do you have to deal with regulations or anything like that?
Yeah, that has become the biggest issue, and that's probably the biggest thing for my dad, who's been in it forever.
Yeah.
You can't talk to a farmer that isn't food safety conscious.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do. We're taking care of Mother Nature, so we're not in it to cause problems with that. But that regulation side has really changed. You spend a lot more time doing that kind of stuff in a notebook as you do out here mowing or irrigating or taking care of your fruit.
So these are the younger ones?
These are the younger ones. These are like 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, you can definitely tell they're not as full.
Right.
So you plant pears for your heirs.
Pears for your heirs. That's the old saying. Pears for your heirs. As you'll see, we go 1 row of Bartlett's, 2 rows of Angels, 1 row. They have to have a pollinator, a different variety of pear that the bee will have. So that's why we use the Bartlett. You have to have that cross-pollination. It's same with apples. You have to have a golden to pollinate other varieties.
All sorts of tricks up your sleeve, don't you?
I mean, you can talk about the money and all that, but it's a pride thing. I mean, most farmers are pretty prideful guys or gals, and they've been in it forever, and they're not in it to make a lot of money. They're in it because they love what they do.